Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's been a bit. I know that it's been a little while since the last video. Drift season's gotten crazy already. There's a lot of moving parts, especially with getting ready for Pro-Am in Atlanta, FD Atlanta and all that stuff. It's been crazy so far. Business is doing really well. So today we are going to be installing a new product in the FRS from Sikky. James over at Sikky sent this to me and asked me to install this product and kind of give a review. I'm gonna do that in another video after it's installed and kind of give like a performance review for you guys. Yeah, so let's go ahead and unbox this, let you guys get a good look at it, and we'll start the install. All right, so what this is Sikky's solid differential bushings for the FRS, the factory diff. You can also use these on the IS300. Of course, you always get a Sikky sticker. So these are, I believe, 6061 billet aluminum. This would be your front diff bushings. You're gonna sandwich them in there like this. And then these are the big guys. These are very nice. Good finish on them, anodized, look really good. They definitely took their time making these. Nice chamfered edges. So one thing that I really like about Sikky is that they make a great product, but they also make it look good too. James and his team, they really know machining very well, and they do a good job. I'm really pleased with all their stuff, especially coming from the world of engineering. I can really appreciate the time and effort. I mean, they even have, looks like maybe part numbers stamped into the back side. So really good stuff from them. So James actually sent me some tricks to get the driver's side mount, this one, get this one out, because this one comes out pretty easy, but apparently this one is not so easy. So he sent me a couple tips for that one. So we'll be using those tips in this video. He also told me that the fitment is like really good on these, so I don't have to put them in the freezer, but I'm going to anyways, just for a little bit. It's just kind of a habit, but I also just want to make sure that these things just go in smooth. There are machining tolerances, but I'm pretty sure that their tolerances are very tight. So we're gonna go ahead and throw these in the freezer while we take the diff out. First things first, let's get the wheels off. So next, I want to remove this bolt from the knuckle and this bolt from the knuckle, so that way I can swing the whole knuckle hub assembly out, pop the axle out, and then obviously drive shaft and diff bolts, pull the thing out, and we're done. Okay, you guys might have your factory arms here, so this will probably be a different size, probably a 17, but this with the FDF kit is a 19, and this was a 17. That's still factory. And just like that, we're able to move everything out of the way. Drop a couple washers. If you have the FDF kit, make sure you grab those so you can put them back in. Go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. All right, I'm trying to get this done as quick as humanly possible, so I'm using my impact. These are 14s. There is a washer on here. Don't lose that. Thankfully, I have everything clearanced well enough that I don't have to pull my exhaust out to get the drive shaft out. The Sikky drive shaft, by the way. Oh, actually, here's a good reason why I'm actually doing these. Sorry for the jolting around. I do have a steel drive shafts. It's on the heavier side. You guys see these marks here? So there is, I have a couple bolts in here. That one's not a problem, but this guy, you can see the wear on that one. I don't think there's any wear on this, but definitely this one. Problem with the factory mounts is that they allow the drive shaft and drive train to flex, right? Which is totally normal under factory normal driving conditions. But this is no longer a factory car. We have a lot of movement between the drive shaft and the diff. I want to reduce the amount of flex that the drivetrain is seeing, so that way we can keep the power planted and obviously not damage our parts. So that's the entire reason for this, is so that way we can just keep that drivetrain flat through the power and keep everything to the ground. All you need to get the axle out is just a really big pry bar. Stick it in here between the axle flange and the diff. Just like that. And we're out. Give it a ginger press. If you don't have a big pry bar, get one. It makes lots of things very easy. I had to move my exhaust. I had to undo it here at the V-band by the trans, so that way I could get to that bolt, so I can just swing the exhaust out of the way and get to it. I don't really like messing with these things. The rubber mounts, they're just kind of a pain. There is a tool for it. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I found out, I don't know, maybe a month or so ago, when we were working on the Z. I figured I should probably buy one of those, but I haven't. So, yeah, okay. Anyways, let's keep getting this out. So the front bolts, they are 19s. The rear bolts, 17s. You can get to them without taking the sway bar off. We'll see if I can get in here to get that one out without having to take the sway bar off. This one I can hit from the other side. Diff is out, and just taking a look at the mounts that are currently on here, the factory mounts, you can see all the stress cracks. They go all the way around this thing. It's kind of hard to see with the light here, but they're there, trust me. Okay, well that was a pain. I tried the press didn't work. It just pushes the rubber out and explodes the oil all over the place. Air chisel works, just takes a long time. You can get from the underside, you can push out the center, and then you can work on the edge. I did nick this a little bit, but I filed it down, and now I'm just using a little bit of sandpaper to knock down a little bit of the rust. Whoa, drive shaft fell over. Just to knock down a little bit of the rust. You don't want to like take off too much because they machined them to be a real tight fit. So I'm going to pull the other bushings out of the freezer and stick them in. Look at that. There we go. Nice. They were in the freezer for just a little bit, but being aluminum, they took all that coldness and shrunk down a bit. Oh, I like that. I like when things just slide in. Once this warms up, it's not gonna move around. Let's move on to the rear. And we gotta try and get these ones out. Sorry for the white balance there at the outside. All right, James said you can just hammer this thing out of here. Let's see. Oh, Porter's here. Why are you out here? Let me get some safety glasses. Oh yeah, it moved. Nice. Nice, that was easy. You want to make sure that you hit that thing square on the metal though of the actual bushing, because this is really thin and you do not want to deform this. So just make sure that you're hitting right on the edge. There's plenty of surface with this thing sticking through here to hit. Okay, so apparently the trick is with this one, since it doesn't stick out nearly as far as the other one does, you can't really hammer this out. So what James over at Sikky suggested was to use a Sawzall. And there's two slits in this. One at the top and one at the bottom. You can get the Sawzall in there and cut the very edge of this sleeve on both sides and knock this piece out, and then do the same with the bottom. Hopefully I have the same success that he did, because after he cut this one out and started to cut the bottom one, the thing just popped out. So we'll see. See? I wonder. I'm just gonna do an experiment. Yep. So you don't even need to cut that bottom one. Cut the top one, because that way you don't have to take the sway bar off to get to the bottom one or anything like that. Cut that top one off, hit it with the hammer, boom, done. Super easy. There you go, James. One less step. One less step for you on any future ones. Awesome. I'm very happy with that. Pulled the passenger side out of the freezer. Make sure the Sikky logo is nice and square. I'm gonna get rubber mallet just to make that seat. I'm gonna put a rag over it just because I like my stuff to look nice and I don't want to damage it, so. That sucked. Well, anyways, I got that one in. Time for driver's side. Ah, man, it sucked. Can't believe I dropped that camera. Same thing with this side. Actually, I'm gonna hold off on this side just so that way I can make sure I get the orientation correct. I'm gonna put the diff back in because I don't want this to be twisted at all and then get warm and then I can't move it. So I'm gonna put the diff back in and then slide that guy in. So I'll put it back in the freezer and let's put everything back together. I've got the diff up here. So now I just need to put these washers and bolts in on both sides. Do not forget to use these because Sikky gives you them. So there's no need to use the originals, the OEMs. Put these in any orientation you want. Rotate it that way, whatever way you want. Yeah, super easy. So you're gonna wanna draw this in and then those two to set this guy up Just do a little bit at a time. That should be exactly where it needs to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the other one out of the freezer. While it's still a loose fit, adjust it accordingly to get your bolts lined up, and then send it home. This is calibrated, by the way. You want to do that many ugga-duggas. So if you need to rewatch it, go ahead, rewind it. Make sure you do that many ugga-duggas exactly. So there you have it. The diff bushings are in. Man, these things look great. Again, 60, 61, machined billet aluminum, made in the good old US of A. Cue overused screeching eagle effect. Fun fact, that actually isn't the sound of an eagle. The sound of an eagle is very odd. It doesn't sound as majestic as the sound that you normally hear, which is the sound of a hawk. Go figure. All right, enough being a nerd. I'm gonna put the rest of this back together. And yeah, keep going. You're gonna do the same thing that you did before. Push the knuckle out as far as you can. Super easy. There we go. All right, guys, got everything installed. Take a look. Everything looks really good. I'm really happy with all of this. Like I said, the Sikky stuff is great quality. It's made my life so easy with this swap and everything that I've needed to get done. Super simple. Maybe, you know, if you got all the tools and everything and you've paid attention to this video and used some of the information that I've given, maybe an hour, you could get this done. Probably took me about 2 hours. Not bad. But yeah, I'm really excited. So I'm looking forward to seeing this whole area stay nice and flat under load. You can feel it too. Like you can feel it when you're in transition and you're unloading the vehicle. You can feel the slight movement. So I'm really hoping that this dials it in and eliminates that, and then I can transition and keep the power where I need it to be without the drivetrain moving and flexing and slipping around. So, make sure you guys check this stuff out. You can go on Sikky's website and get it right from them, or you can get it from us directly, wilderdrift.com. We'll be adding them to the website here soon because they were just added to the Sikky site. So once we do that, we'll be able to get you all set up. But I appreciate you guys taking the time as always, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.